Okay, so our next speaker today is Karli Rae Ross from the Central Interior region.
Growing up, me and my brother used to play the online game Farming Simulator, which is a farming simulation video game. Players are able to farm, breed animals, grow crops, and sell assets. We both enjoyed experiencing what farming was like from the comfort of our own home and at the click of a few buttons on our controllers. But not once did we think that it would become a reality in the agricultural industry. Thank you, Chairperson, and welcome, honorable judges. This is my 6th year in 4-H, and I'm the president of the Highland 4-H Club of 100 Mile House, and today I have been given the opportunity to represent the Central Interior region in this competition by sharing with you a little bit about what the future looks like for the agricultural industry. More specifically, agri-technology and innovation in the future of farming. Every day, advancements in technology are being made, from an app on your smartphone to the way your food is grown and raised. Estimates say that in the next few decades, farmers and ranchers should be able to raise crops and animals using technology and technology alone. Using things like self-driving tractors, by creating and growing meat in a lab, and genetically modifying all food types for better yield and profit. Some may see this as innovative and as a more efficient way, while others may disagree. I personally disagree with the idea of hands-free farming and alternative foods, and here's why. I live in a small town, and in my community, most people rely on ranching and farming to make a living, whether they run the family operation or simply work as a farmhand or laborer or something in between. If our local producers converted to hands-free farming, then hundreds of job cuts would be made, leaving a good portion of my community without jobs. Now, this may have you thinking, well, if many producers switch to hands-free farming, then there will be a high job demand in the tech industry. And you're right. But most people in my town don't have a post-secondary education in information or technology or similar. Ranching is all that they know. So how does that help the people that don't know anything about tech support their families? And that's just my community alone. Never mind the hundreds of ranching and farming communities all across the country and even the world. To me personally, the idea of hands-free farming seems unnatural. And if you convert to a system of farming that only consists of you having to push a few buttons, then can you really say you work hard for your money? I don't know about you, but I personally would rather be able to say that I work hard for what I have. My family used to have a small-scale farm, and what we learned from our experiences is that when we are farming, nothing goes smooth in a step-by-step process. There is always need for alterations and last-minute changes, whether it be from disease or illness, to feeding requirements and supplements, to your breeding system. Not to mention that completely relying on technology isn't the smartest move to begin with. Computers and technology backfire, malfunction, and glitch out all the time, no matter how high the quality. And technology is always susceptible to viruses, hacks, and terrorism attacks. I mean, what better plot to wipe out a country's food supply, right? Even with how far we've already come with technology, you still can't rely on your Wi-Fi computer or cell phone to operate consistently 100% of the time. Even our high security banks and hospitals have known to be hacked. And I'm not saying I'm completely against technology in agriculture either. I fully believe in tech assistance, but not complete tech reliance. Things like special cameras, infrared imaging, drones, and humane animal monitoring technology and similar veterinary technology can be quite useful and helpful. These kinds of things can help discover illness or injury in animals or problems with crops early on while it's still treatable or before it can be spread to others. Detecting these things early can help save a whole crop or herd. Now, more about that chemically created meat and GMO food. Monsanto's was the world's largest seed company and owned over 80% of all genetically modified seeds planted around the world. Bayer Ag is a German multinational pharmaceutical and life sciences company. They are the largest pharmaceutical companies and the second largest agrochemical company in the world. Bayer also just bought Monsanto's rights to GMO seeds for $63 billion. Now, you used to be able to go to the grocery store, buy an apple, harvest the seeds, and grow an apple tree in your backyard. Well, since genetically modified foods or GMOs have taken over the food industry, you can't grow an apple tree from your grocery store apple anymore, not to mention the possible health effects. So how is chemically created meat any different? If the world converts to lab-created meat instead of natural real meat, then those species will no longer be needed, therefore they will not be bred, and they will eventually become extinct. So then what if your chemically engineered food fails or major health effects present themselves down the road, and the operation then has to be stopped? It's pretty simple. No more meat, no more burgers, no more bacon, no more steaks. I know, it sounds awful. So if Bayer bought out the majority of GMO seeds, what's stopping them from buying majority rights of the lab-created meats? So not only would they control most GMO products, pharmaceuticals, but also our meat, do you really trust one person to control pretty well all of our food supply? With that kind of control, we lose our right to choose what we consume. People say that these insane advancements are necessary due to the increasing population and the raising demand for food. But there's other ways to yield more food. Instead of pushing agri-technology, promote and encourage agriculture. Provide more education and assistance to local producers, or instead of just relying on your big corporations. Support your local ranchers and farmers instead of your local grocery stores. Grow your own food in a garden. Educate more youth about agriculture through programs such as 4-H, or implement courses into your high school programs. We can make it easier for small producers to sell. We could encourage growth for smaller producers. We could pressure the government to lower the restrictions on farm-to-fork sales and give people the option of buying direct from their farmers, instead of pushing these unnecessary alternatives. So instead of utilizing expensive technology, provide more opportunity for your people. I understand that hands-free farming is an easier way of getting things done, especially in this generation of people wanting or expecting everything, but not wanting to actually go out and work for anything. I personally would rather eat food grown with love and care rather than grown by a computer or made in a lab. However, that's just my opinion, and I'm not asking you or telling you to think the same way, but strongly encourage those for it to consider all the possible fallouts before it's too late. It would just be a shame to watch this industry go from horse-drawn plows to a mobile game on your smartphone.